Welcome. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dynamic Mother-Daughter Duo.
Where freedom is a family affair.
You betcha. We have got so many wonderful things to talk about in light of all the recent events, starting from Parkland, Florida, and our impressions of things that went on there that are inescapably sad. And what we're going to speak about, Christina has some incredible information we want to talk about. Now we can get into all the crazy things that went on there with the fact that the sheriff there all but wanted this to happen, only in so much as the kid who did that shooting just about gave them the date and time that he was going to do it, and they did nothing. And even when the shots were firing, they backed up and didn't go in. Now, cowardly was redefined that day.
Oh, for sure.
And what we're going to do is talk about all the aftermath. And you all can go back and look at some of our past videos where we talked about the civil war that's going to start it. Well, it's already underway. And the sad thing is, the first battle we're going to go through is the Second Amendment. And the left has been waging war ever since.
That's absolutely right.
And the thing that we're concerned about is that I'm going to just throw this out there, and I'm going to turn it over to Christina, because we wrote our senators and our congressmen and said any new legislation against ownership of guns, restricting gun ownership, is useless because criminals, first of all, don't obey the law, and secondly, why don't you just enforce the damn laws that are on the books? So, in light of all the things that they are trying to do with restricting gun rights, taking away my legal right is going to make you any safer, which is a joke. You need to sit back and look at that. This is the first thing that they're going to try to do is disarm legal gun owners, not enforce laws on criminals
that already exist.
Yeah, they don't obey laws. So, we wrote a letter to our congressman. His name is?
It's Senator Robert Casey of Pennsylvania.
Democrat.
The Democratic senator. So, what I've been doing through Gun Owners of America, they have these pre-written emails that you can send to your representatives of your state,
which I recommend doing, by the way.
Very much so, and also join the Gun Owners of America. They're better than the NRA in terms of being like the no messing around,
no compromise on it.
Yeah, on the Second Amendment. So, I kind of spam. Every time I get the chance, I kind of just spam my representatives because I do care and I love our Second Amendment rights.
Yes.
So I just sent one of these pre-written messages, and
he of course sent back his response.
So this is kind of a bit of a long story because I sent one message,
right,
and I got this really phony baloney kind of automatic response. And it went something along the lines of like, thank you for contacting me.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that in Pennsylvania, as you know, is a very gun friendly state.
Yes.
So he's like, yeah, I understand that, that Pennsylvania has a rich tradition of hunting and Second Amendment,
watch out, here comes.
We have a strong tradition and, people use our guns for defense, for hunting, and for sport.
We already know that.
However,
yes,
as a public official, I cannot ignore that we need more common sense gun laws for the state, which is basically your code word for gun control.
Yeah, common sense is what you'll see that now. You guys pay attention to the left.
Common sense gun
laws. There's your buzzword. Now pay attention.
Yes. And then he went on to say how the Sandy Hook shooting really affected him, and how, that massacre was terrible. It was terrible for all of us.
Yeah, who wasn't affected by that?
Exactly. We're all lamenting, and, he went on to say, like, I'm looking at and working with many people in Washington all the many things, of new legislation to help support common sense gun laws that will help better all of us.
Tabulum.
To which I was furious because he didn't hear anything, or I bet you he probably didn't even He probably just saw Gun Owners of America and is like, boom.
Nope.
And he's like, I don't care. I don't care about your rights. I don't care about what you think or, about what you really feel. He probably didn't even read the whole thing.
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant to them. The politicians don't give a rat's behind what your concerns are.
And so this is what I did in response. I tried to call. I couldn't get a hold of him.
Oh, wow.
Well, I actually realized I actually called on the weekend. So at the time, I wrote an email response to that email that I got. Direct response. Email address is invalid.
Yes.
It didn't accept.
Yes.
It didn't allow you to respond to that email. So now I'm really pissed.
Yeah.
So I went on to the website, to the contact me section. I pre-wrote my whole response and sent it right over to him. And then I got another response from him saying this, and I have it right here, so I'll read it to you guys.
Y'all get ready? Y'all get your popcorn. This is gonna be good.
I'm gonna also paraphrase a little bit because it is very lengthy.
Yes, and it's how they love to pontificate.
Yes. Dear Mrs. Kais, thank you for taking the time to contact me about gun violence. I appreciate hearing from you. Multiple casualty shootings are devastating families and ravaging neighborhoods on an almost daily basis around this country. Gun violence in the United States has reached extreme levels, with approximately 33,000 Americans killed by firearms every year. With approximately 33,000. Approximately. Okay. Among that number in 2012 were the 20 small children, just 6 and 7 years old, and 6 adults who were shot at the Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut in December of that year.
Right.
And here he goes on to say how the Sandy Hook massacre affected me deeply. The shooter used a military-style assault weapon with the magazines containing up to 30 rounds of ammunition, realizing that he chose this weapon because he wanted to inflict the most damage in the shortest amount of time. Yada, yada, yada.
Yada, yada, yada. We've heard this before, folks.
Absolutely.
Bear with us. Go ahead.
I voted, okay, so he said, hold on, I'm trying to get back to the sentence. After careful study, I decided to support legislation to close loopholes in the existing background check system, which we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
As well as legislation to institute a federal ban on military-style assault weapons and to restrict high-capacity magazines.
Okay, can I just hold it right there for just a moment? If I may. I just want to indulge me, please, folks. Okay, AR-15, for those of you on the left who don't know and you need a little remedial lesson here, AR stands for Armalite Rifle.
Who made the AR?
Yeah, Armalite is a company that made it. They also made the M14. The AR-14, it was an M14. And the AR, that's what it stands for. It does not stand for assault rifle. An assault rifle, okay, pay attention. An assault rifle is a fully automatic weapon only in the hands of SWAT teams and the military, which is illegal for every citizen who is not in the military in a combat unit or who is not a member of a SWAT high-risk team to possess. It's already banned. So when they say assault rifle, they have just betrayed their ignorance, their malice, and their intent on taking your rights away.
No. Yes. So, he says, I voted in favor of these measures to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. And he said, I also voted in efforts to close the loophole allowing the known and suspected terrorists on the terror watch list to purchase firearms when they came before the Senate for consideration in 2013, 15, and 16. Shamefully, none of these measures have gained enough support to pass the Senate.
It's because they're stupid to begin with.
It's because
they're ineffective.
Well, I'll give you the real reason. It's because the FBI is too freaking lazy to actually go ahead and go after these people that are on their watch list, like the Pulse shooter in Florida who shot up the nightclub, who was on a terror watch list, who was taken off for fear of being profiled and
as
being as
racist.
As a Muslim. The FBI was worried about profiling, which they should be more concerned about the safety of our American citizens instead of being called racist. And also didn't respond to the Nicholas Cruz shooter who shot up the high school, who didn't go after him because they're too busy looking out for who's colluding with Russia when they damn know well who it is, and know that this is a phony baloney case, and that they should have just locked Nicholas Cruz up as soon as they visited him the first time with the chief of police.
Yeah.
Now there is a problem, Senator, with you not being able to back up the president and to call out the FBI for not looking after us as a nation who's only vested in their own interests.
Hello.
You need to listen to us, okay? I didn't even get to finish reading the stupid email, but basically this email, he continued to say the actual bills that he has support for.
All of which cut your rights in half, by the way.
Right, which all are anti-gun bills. Now, but there is a problem with our politicians that just don't give a shit about us. And this is something that you can see commonly
everywhere,
honestly.
With the D behind their name, okay?
With the Democrats and also these rhino Republicans that we need to get rid of. That's why we voted for Donald Trump, because we knew that he was the man who's going to get stuff done. And
right.
You know what? He's trying to get stuff done, but all you phony baloney politicians ain't letting him do his damn job, because you keep getting in his way. And I need you to get out of his way so that he can do this job, and that you can listen to us who elected you into office.
I'm so proud.
Shut up.
I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of her. Because she speaks for a lot of us out there.
And I know y'all who are watching, you good Americans that are sick of
patriots.
all kinds of policies, all kinds of taxes of yours that are being taken.
Yep.
That are just robbed from you, and you throw it all to the government, and you don't get anything in return.
Oh, no.
And you just get more oppression, you get more...
That's right. Don't you complain. You have to pay for the privilege of living and breathing, don't you know?
Damn
and
straight.
Actually, you know, I'm for helping you. Whenever some politician, especially Democrats or those rhino Republicans, if they ever tell you that this is for your own good, and this is for your safety, and we're concerned, get ready, honey, because the knife is coming from behind you. Okay? The knife is coming. All right?
We Americans are more in numbers than you politicians are. So y'all just watch yourself.
You better behave. You better behave. Now,
I'm not trying to incite
No, we're not
violence.
threatening. We're not threatening. We're just promising that you're going to be gone, because we're not going to...
The next guy who's actually going to support us and listen to us and actually is going to stand up there and really represent us, he's going to get my vote.
That's right. And you know what? You brothers and sisters in the military that are so fed up with this system, that you're out of the military now and you want to run for office, please run for office.
We will vote for you.
We'll vote for you in a heartbeat. You come with the right, you defend our Constitution, you defend our God-given rights, we will be behind you.
That's right. So,
moving right along.
So I just wanted to read you guys these bills that are in Congress right now that are going to infringe on our Second Amendment rights. And trust me, there are quite a few. And he even told me what they are. The number and what it's gonna do.
Yeah.
So here we go, guys. Get your pens and papers out. Take some notes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get ready, and we'll give you the numbers to call.
So he says, Senator Casey, I support a number of gun reform bills in the current session of Congress, including S 2009, the Background Check Expansion Act, which expands federal background checks to the sale or transfer of firearms by private sellers, closing the online sale, gun show, and private seller loopholes.
Okay.
We're going to get back to that.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Go ahead.
S 2095 or 2095, the assault weapons ban, which would ban the sale, manufacture, transfer, and importation of 205 military-style assault weapons, as well as ban magazines that hold more than 10 rounds of ammunition federally now.
Whoa. Go ahead. Go ahead.
This bill will also ban bump stock devices like those used in the Las Vegas massacre, which can convert semi-automatic firearms into guns that emulate fully automatic guns.
But they're not fully automatic guns.
They're not. It's still semi-automatic. Now,
right.
We also have S 834, a bill repealing current restrictions on gun safety studies at the Centers for Disease Control and directing them to study gun violence just as they would study any other public health hazard. This data would help us better understand the problem of gun violence and how to address it. have you shit your pants yet? Because we just halfway through this.
No, but let me tell you something about that Center for Disease Control. The reason why he wants to repeal that and get into the violence part, because every time the Center for Disease Control has ever done research,
they've proven that
armed citizens prevent almost 2 million crimes a year.
That's fucking right.
And they don't want you to know that.
They don't want you to be messing up the data like that.
That's
okay?
Right.
Tell the facts, you liar.
No, don't want to do that. Can't tell the facts because otherwise I can't control you. What's wrong with you? Go on.
Okay. Among that, next we have S 1324-1324, this Disarm Hate Act, which prevents individuals convicted of violent misdemeanor hate crimes from getting their hands on a gun. I introduced this bill after the 2016 mass shooting in Orlando when a gunman with hate in his heart claiming allegiance to ISIS walked into an LGBT nightclub with a military-style rifle and handgun, as if he didn't know what happened.
Yeah.
Okay, he killed 49 people and injured 53 others. 4 Pennsylvanians, 2 injured, and 2 killed were among the victims of this brutal shooting, the worst in the history of the United States at that time.
May I say something?
Can I just finish this one?
Yeah,
okay.
Go ahead.
If you have proven you will commit violent criminal acts based on bias, where someone comes from, how someone worships, or whom someone loves, you should not have access to guns. It's common sense.
Okay, let me say something about that. How many people who took a firearm went in and killed innocent people, or a pressure cooker bomb, or a bunch of knives, went in to kill people who did not have hate in their hearts? Now, if that's the case too, when you had warnings of criminal intent, as we did in Parkland, Florida, and 39 times FBI local knew the intent of this boy, he all but gave you the date and time he was going to do it. What did you do?
Crickets.
Crickets. Do continue, my love.
Yes. Okay, and lastly we have S 1539-1539, the Protecting Domestic Violence and Stalking Victims Act, which would prevent individuals convicted of stalking, as well as domestic or dating partners who have a restraining order against them from purchasing or possessing firearms.
That's already on the books. That's already on the books.
There are these things.
This is redundant.
These things are already on the books. So what I want to talk to you guys about, I just bought another pistol yesterday. That's the one that thank you. That's the one that you saw in the thumbnail here.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't own the copy of the federal application to purchase firearm, but
it's this big.
It's 3 sheets long.
Yeah.
But I do have the Pennsylvania copy of application to purchase firearm. And I want to read to you guys, if any of you guys are unfamiliar with the process of actually...
The background check.
The background check, yes. And the process of purchasing a firearm, I wanted to read you guys some of this, in case if you were unaware. Okay, it's going to be quite lengthy, so bear with me. Okay. So we're in box B.
Mm-hmm. You have to answer the question.
Where the, number 30 here.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you a United States citizen?
Check.
No, check your birth, country of citizenship, and your immigration/identification number.
That's called profiling, by the way.
Yeah. Actually, okay, number 31. Have you ever been convicted of a crime enumerated in section 6105B, or do you have any conditions under 6105C that apply to you? Read information on back prior to answering.
Which means to be right.
Here's the back.
Here's the qualifications.
Okay.
Are you a dirty bag, crap bag?
Okay, section 6105.
Hit it.
Effective November 22nd, 1995.
When?
1995.
Background check.
21 years ago.
Okay, hit it.
Okay. PA section 16105A prohibits persons convicted of any of the following offenses under this law from possessing, using, controlling, transferring, manufacturing, or obtaining a license to possess, use, control, transfer, or manufacture a firearm in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. This is just Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
This
That doesn't the federal.
This is not California. This isn't New York. This isn't the federal. This is just Pennsylvania.
A very gun-friendly state, and this
very
is how
gun-friendly.
strict they are.
Okay? A conviction includes a finding guilty or the entering of a plea of guilty or nolo contendere, which is basically you're guilty but you don't admit you're guilty.
Right.
Whether or not judgment has been imposed as determined by the law of the jurisdiction in which the prosecution was held. The term does not include a conviction which has been expunged or overturned or for which an individual has been pardoned unless the pardon expressly provides that the individual may not possess or transport firearms. Okay? Section 1605B. Now this is the one that it's referring to.
Okay, let's go on.
You cannot buy a gun in Pennsylvania if you have done any of these things.
Oh, look at this list.
Two columns.
Hold it. Let me look at this list. Hold on.
Okay.
I need my glasses for this.
Whoa.
Okay. Let's read.
Let's.
All right.
Now, here we go.
She's going to read all these. Now, I want you guys to pay attention because you know why? This idea of this red herring of background checks that they talk about, how we have to tighten background checks. If they get any tighter, they're going to be choking us. All right. So she's going to read the qualifications by which you cannot own a firearm. Get ready.
Okay. Any offense equivalent to any of the above enumerated offenses under the prior laws of this Commonwealth, or any offense equivalent to any of the above enumerated offenses, basically you're unable to purchase a firearm. Right. Here we go.
Here's the list.
I'm going to try to read this fast because it's really long. Okay.
May I help you? We'll go through it. Okay, ready.
Okay, so we have prohibited offensive weapons, corrupt organizations, possession of weapon or on school property, murder, voluntary manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter, and the offenses based on the reckless use of a firearm, aggravated assault, aggravated by prisoner, assault by prisoner, assault by prisoner, assault by life prisoner, stalking, weapons of mass destruction, kidnapping, unlawful restraint, luring a child into a motor vehicle or structure, rape, involuntary deviant sexual intercourse.
That means bestiality and pedophilia, so you do that on the left. Go ahead.
Aggravated indecent assault, arson or related offenses, causing or risking a catastrophe,
like blowing up a building,
burglary, criminal trespass, robbery of motor vehicle,
keep going,
theft by unlawful taking or disposition under conviction of second felony offense, theft by extortion of the offenses accompanied by threats of violence.
Yeah, but that's the IRS.
Anyways,
I'm sorry.
Receiving stolen property upon conviction of second felony offense. False reports to law enforcement authorities if the fictitious report involved with the theft of a firearm has provided in a different law. Okay. Impersonating a public servant if the person is impersonating a law enforcement officer. Intimidation of witnesses or victims. Retaliation against witness, victim, or party. Escape, weapons or implements for escape. Riot, Antifa.
Yes.
Prohibiting of paramilitary training. Facsimile weapons of facsimile weapons of mass destruction. Possession of firearm by minor. Corruption of minors. Sale or release of weapons and explosives
that are controlled by the federal government. Okay. Now, did we miss anything?
Okay. Now, have you ever been convicted of a crime mentioned in that section, or any of those conditions apply to you? If so,
you can't own a firearm.
You cannot.
You just can't have one.
Okay.
Now, for you criminals out there, I know that when you go to get your guns that you're going to go murder somebody with and you had your intent on it, you're going to walk right into a gun store and fill out all these forms, make sure you tell the truth, and then you get to buy your gun.
Provide your signature, your date of birth, your social security number.
And then you're going to go ahead and put the money down and get your gun. Then you go out and murder somebody.
No.
Go on.
It's almost like it's like for a law-abiding citizen, isn't it?
Isn't it? Wow.
Okay, are you now charged with or have you ever been convicted of a crime punishable by imprisonment for a term exceeding 1 year? This is the maximum sentence that you could have received, not the actual sentence you did receive. This does not include federal or state offenses pertaining to the antitrust, unfair trade practices, restraints of trade, or regulation of business, or state offenses classified as misdemeanors and punishable by a term of imprisonment not to exceed 2 years.
That's for you Wall Street and for you bankers. You Wall Street guys out there, you bankers. because you guys know who you are. You go on.
Are you the actual buyer of the firearm as defined under Pennsylvania law section 6102 listed on the application/record of sale?
Okay, and you do have to give us your driver's license or otherwise an authoritative state ID.
Yes.
So that we can corroborate and confirm that.
Yes.
Otherwise, you don't get the
You can't do it.
No.
Warning, if you're not the actual Warning, you are not the actual buyer if you're acquiring the firearm on behalf of another person.
Straw purchase.
Unless you are legitimately acquiring the firearm as a gift or for any of the following individuals who are legally eligible to own a firearm, that being a spouse, parent, child, grandparent, or grandchild.
That's called your immediate family.
Yes. Okay.
Not your friends.
And that is the last, and the last is I verified the fact that I have just admitted to are true.
Now,
and if I lied, I'm going to jail.
That's right. Now, not only that, you got to give us all your information, which we will check. And guess what? When we call this document in to the FDA, now remember, this is just the state form in Pennsylvania. There is a federal form.
That's
now,
right.
Once we get all that information from you, we will then go on to our PICS check. That is the background check from the federal government and the state government. And if you are in any way a very bad person, it's going to pop right up.
That's right.
You don't get to walk out that store
and
with a gun.
And let me go back to my great friend, Senator Casey.
Who thinks we don't have enough information on citizens already.
Aren't there already laws already set up on this application for your state that already are working and that already are doing their job, and that you don't need to really bring up or try to push again on a federal level because you know they're already there. And you know what? Let me tell you a story.
Go ahead.
I have a hunting rifle. I have a .223 hunting rifle.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a National Wild Turkey Federation dinner. It was a fundraising
Wonderful dinner.
And they had raffles all through the night. That was what the fundraiser was.
Yep.
And they had firearms available for raffle. I won my .223 my .223 Ruger deer rifle.
Yep, .223, beautiful, beautiful, just like an AR-15 caliber.
Yeah, but here's the thing: I didn't even buy it. I didn't even put money down on it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a table raffle, and I won it. And you know what?
Guess what? She had to go through.
I still had to apply. I still had to fill this out. I still had to
Both
fill out
forms.
the federal form, and I still needed to get an FBI background check before I could pick it up. I had to come back, get all that done, and once everything was clear, then I could take my gun home.
Let me explain something too. For you politicians who have this obsession with gun shows and things like that, you can't walk out of the door at any gun show without a background check.
That's
so quit lying to the American people. You just want to constrict us. You want to. Hey, let me ask you a stupid question. Now remember, to be a politician, you have to check your brains at the door. You have to pass the stupid test. Okay? Common sense is something you've been hoping for your whole lives, but you don't have it because you're a politician. How is taking my gun rights away making it more difficult for me to purchase firearms? We're law-abiding citizens. How is that going to make you any safer? You leftist people who want to take all of our guns, how is taking them all going to make all of you any safer?
And here's my question. If you're putting in all these laws in place to prevent me, honest, upright, law-abiding citizen, someone who does not do harm. I'm a Christian woman, and the last thing I would do would be to purposefully hurt someone with my firearm.
Yes.
Unless if my life were at risk. For people like me, and I'm sure also people like you, why would that make this country any safer when the most trustworthy people you want to disarm?
Yeah, and especially the people who are the peaceful, loving people. So we have to ask the question, Senator Casey, and those of you
and
others in the same ilk. Let's ask this question. What is your real intent?
You know what?
Okay, now remember, we're from black ancestry here.
Mm-hmm.
We know what the Democrat Party record on civil rights, gun ownership, empowerment is. We got your record down pat. You know something? I'm getting the impression that nothing's changed since Reconstruction.
Not really. You just put it.
You're starting to make it look nicer way.
Sentence.
Yeah, like, okay, this is for your own good. This is for
common sense.
It's to keep you safe. You know, I remember something I once said. You know, plantations, they were gun-free zones.
Well, you're right. You can't let the slaves be having, getting all uppity.
And having the guns and the great unwashed. Those people, they them Christians, you never know what they're going to do in the name of God, But if you were to say and target Muslims like that or Jews like that, God forbid what the repercussions would be for you, right? Goodness gracious. So, in closing today, unless we have anything else we'd like to share, we really want you guys to chew on this.
Yes,
because this is really important to consider in this war that we are now in.
Yes, this is not a war. In the Bible, it says in the last days it will not be a war. I'm paraphrasing. It's not a war of flesh and bone. It'll be of powers and principalities.
And we've got two principalities. We've got God and we've got the big S. Okay? They're at war with each other. They have decided.
God and Satan, if you
God and Satan, for you leftist people, yeah. They have chosen sides. Now, for us, you better decide whose side you're on.
That's right. Are you going towards good or are you going towards evil? Really, there's only two ways.
There's only two ways.
If you stay warm, God gonna spit you out.
That's right.
That's what he said.
You're gonna get you in the middle of the road. You're gonna get it with traffic from both sides. Okay, you don't want to be there. Make your decisions, and you politicians, be forewarned. You're ordinary people who think that you're extraordinary, and you're not. You're not. You're nothing more than a person who had some obsessive desire to have power and lord over ordinary people. I think your days are coming to an end.
Yeah, and also for our patriots, please, if you're already, we're all in this conversation now. This is just what's in front of us. Right. If you're not actively fighting for or contacting or, doing your part here, educating yourself, and this is going to take all of us.
Yeah, we have to stand together.
We really do. Together. It doesn't matter what color you are, what you believe. We all need to defend this.
Yes, and if we don't stand together, we're going to hang separately. Okay. So in closing, I want to thank you all for listening. This will not be the first time we are going to cover this, because as the ongoing struggle continues, reminds me of the civil rights era, because our civil rights are being eroded before our very eyes. We're not done. And until we have justice for all people, which includes the right of self-defense and the God-given rights to free speech, free association, free religion, and the right to bear arms, until we get that down so where it's never questioned again, we're going to continue to keep putting out the word. That's right. So, God bless you all.
Thank you so much for watching.
And we're going to close out as the Dynamic Mother-Daughter Duo. Okay, see you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You leave your comments below and subscribe anytime you want. Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.